What's up, guys? Oscar the Truck Guy back with a new YouTube video. I know I haven't been making very many YouTube videos. I got a new job and I've just been working. I've just been posting shorts, and those shorts are basically just videos that I've already had on my phone. So without further ado, here's the first YouTube video in who knows how long, years. So we're taking it back to the 81 Chevy C10, and this thing looks good from afar. As you can see, it's missing some trim right about here, and the reason being is because there was a dog that jumped on my truck and scratched it all up. As you can see, I don't know if you could see, I tried washing it a little bit. Yeah, you can see some of those right there. Some of the paint peeled off, scratches, paint peeling off all right there. He really got my trim right here to the point where I had to peel it off because I couldn't drive it. It was just dragging on the street. I started unbolting this up, but I figured I'd leave it on there so I could show you guys. My trim got messed up. His nail must have gotten stuck here and ripped it off. He got my paint right here really bad. And just right here, really bad. I believe most of these scratches are gonna buff out, but this is probably gonna give me the biggest problem. And so is like this stuff right here. My plan is to buff this out as much as I can, try to clean it up as much as I can. I have already ordered a new trim piece for the wheel well, and I have trim for this just laying in my room. I usually use that for trucks that I build, so yeah, I should have enough to like complete that. So let's get to it. So what I did for those spots that like the paint just absolutely won't be buffed out, it'll just look like crap, I went to my local paint supply store and asked if they could paint match. And most of these paint stores, they have the technology to like paint match without you giving them a paint coat or anything. They have this like neat little like gadget that they just put onto the paint. It scans it and then like it pulls up like the closest match. So this is what I got. I got 2 of these little cans of black and 2 of these little cans of silver. It pretty much, he gave me like a paint code in case I need to order more, which I don't think I'll have to, but he gave me enough to like save some for next time I have to touch up, pretty much. And that's what we're gonna use for those spots. I went to Harbor Freight. I bought a cheap orbital, I don't know what it is, polisher, and a pad with some high gloss finish. What is it called? Compound. So we're gonna use that compound, and we're gonna use the pad to try to buff out some of the scratches first. The stuff that we can buff out, we're gonna use that touch-up paint and a paintbrush, and we're gonna try to touch it up as much as we can. After we're done with that, we're gonna reapply like the trim and all that stuff, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. So I will start buffing out. So you guys saw the before video, here's the after video. Have it out in the sun so you can see the scratches a little bit better. There's some deep scratches that I absolutely could not get, like that one right there. But for the most part, a lot of these scratches came out. And here's the products that I used. Used Meguiar's Ultimate Compound, and then just a Warrior little tool from Harbor Freight. And it just about did the job. Now it's time for some touch-up paint. The worst part's probably just gonna be like right here and just down here where I took the trim off. So let's get to it. So here I've got my 2 cans of touch-up paint. They each come with the brush inside that's mounted to the cap, but I also recommend buying some of these. They're little touch-up brushes, I guess, and they're a lot better for like those hard to reach spaces and just the little spaces that that brush that's inside of the thing won't get to. So we're gonna pretty much touch up this right here, this corner, this right here, and down here, which is gonna be probably the worst. There's a little spot right here too, and I think that's it for now. So we're gonna do that, and I'm gonna do an inspection and make sure I don't have any more chips or scratches that are really bad, and I will get back to you guys. So here I have installed this wheel well trim. It's overall pretty easy. You don't have to take the wheel off. Most of the holes line up. If they don't line up, this aluminum is easy. Like it's like cheap enough. They could just like kind of like put some pressure on it and it'll make a new hole where you want it at. I didn't have to take the wheel off. I did have a little bit of trouble doing this one, so I just had to turn the wheel in, and I had an opening to be able to do that. So now what I'm gonna do is put this trim on. I usually purchase a big old roll of this. This is some extra that I have from other projects. I like to use the roll instead of the pre-cut ones because I could make the gaps a little bit closer. The pre-cut ones leaves a lot of big gaps and it just, I don't like it. I like to be as close as possible. I also bought a pair of shears. They're pretty big. I bought them at Harbor Freight. It makes it easier to cut this thing and I don't have to use a razor blade. I could have the possibility of like cutting it crooked, cutting myself with the razor blade. With this, I know it's gonna come straight. And I've got a tape I use to mark down how much I want to cut off. And I probably could make a video on how to do this trim on a truck. I just need to get a truck that needs trim. But for now, I'm just gonna do that door and that fender, as you guys can see. And we'll be on our way. So she's got a little bit of dust just from polishing. She's got like a bunch of like that polish dust, which I need to wash, but the sun's gonna start going down here in a sec. I figured I'd show you guys the difference. Trim is on all around. You can barely see the scratches. Touch of paint. I could probably touch that up a little bit right there, but it looks a lot better. Let me go back to the worst spot there was. And honestly, you could barely tell anything was there. This is just a reflection. You could see the paint blended in pretty good. You can still see like the little indent that it had, but from a distance it looks really good. Right here, you could barely tell. But overall, what do you guys think? So that's it for this video. As you guys saw, I restored this truck. It had a bunch of dog claw marks or whatever and scratches. So we buffed out those scratches, went to go buy some touch-up paint, touched it up with some little brushes, put the trim back on, put the wheel well trim back on, and she looks good now. So this is going to be the end of the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, drop a comment. What do you think I should drop in the next video? I do have to make a video for the new car that I picked up, an R32 Nissan Skyline, and currently I blew the engine on it, and that's going to be just a whole nother video. I'll get you guys updated on that and everything, but for now we're going to cruise in the Corvette, as you guys can see back there, and we're going to cruise in the C10. So thanks for watching.